Welcome back, YouTubers, to the first ever WWE NXT review on the British Fish channel by me, your V-neck wearing, AJ Lee lusting, Cody Rhodes revering Mr. Parkin. I've been reviewing WWE's developmental system since October 2001. It has been now a year since they debuted at NXT. When I first started reviewing it, it was actually FTW Florida Championship Wrestling, and it seems quite appropriate, doesn't it, that the first NXT review on the British Fish channel is the year anniversary of the start of the new season or the new styling of NXT. And for all of you that are watching this NXT review for the first time, or indeed newer viewers to NXT, I urge you all to watch this show. For me, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring my NXT reviews to the British Fish channel is because I wanted to get NXT more exposure, because right now I feel NXT is the best wrestling program on TV right now. And there are plenty of reasons for this, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a crash course before we go into this review if you are newer viewers to this, to try and encourage you to watch this damn show. There are plenty of interesting characters. You've seen the vignettes of Bray Wyatt. You'll see him on NXT. Paige, a great diva. Cassius Ohno is Chris Hero in ROH. Sami Zayn, El Generico in ROH. The Ascension is a great gimmick. Plus, you'll get the odd mid-card talent from WWE, such as Antonio Cesaro, Alex Riley, the Usos on the show. There are 3 championship belts, the NXT World Championship, the Tag Team Championship, and the Women's Championship right now, which they're currently in a tournament to determine who is going to be that champion. And all these divisions are featured very well, in my opinion, especially the Divas division. It's a very simple, a very consistent 1-hour wrestling show that features mostly wrestling and some storylines. And it's just for that reason why I always look forward to NXT. It's a no-frill, no-spill show. In my opinion, the best wrestling product, the best wrestling show on TV out there today. There will be a link in the description box for any of you that want to go check out NXT. I strongly advise you do. Now let's get on to the actual review of this week's NXT show. Whereas last week's show was all about highlighting Bo Dallas toppling the undefeated monster Big E Langston for the NXT Championship, this week was all about the Wyatt family, which is a good thing in my opinion, because the Wyatt family, in my humble opinion, are the hottest thing in wrestling right now. Definitely in NXT. We've seen the vignettes on Raw, we've seen the vignettes on SmackDown. I think it's fair to say that a lot of people are highly anticipating the in-ring or just the debut of the Wyatt family on the WWE roster. In fact, this whole opening segment was all devoted to the Wyatt family and indeed hyping up to a main event involving the Wyatt family. It was Adrian Neville versus the leader of the Wyatt family and most interesting character of the 3, Bray Wyatt. This rivalry actually goes back to when the Wyatt family took out and injured Adrian Neville's tag team partner, Oliver Gray, and he's out for 6 months, and that was how the Wyatt family actually got the NXT Tag Team Championships. So there is a lot of history between these two. The match was also announced last week, according to sources that I've had in the comment section on last week's review. But anyway, the match wasn't really that long. It was about 1.5 minutes. It ends in a DQ after the Wyatt family come in and beat down Adrian Neville. This brings out Cassius Ohno and Corey Graves, who come out to help Adrian Neville. They have had beef with the Wyatt family later. This sets up a 6-man tag, basically. So it's your typical opening segment when you have the NXT commissioner, Dusty Rhodes, baby, come out and make a 6-man tag main event between the Wyatt family, Adrian Neville, Cassius Ohno, and Corey Graves. And my main observation from this opening segment is that it seems like Dusty Rhodes is really learning his NXT commission shit from the best there is and the best there ever will be. No, not Bret Hart, but Teddy Longclair, the master of the tag team match. 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 Sami Zayn, or formerly El Generico in ROH, if you haven't seen NXT before, is slowly, in my opinion, becoming one of the best things about NXT right now. I love this guy in the ring. I think his character is really starting to take shape now. And even though he has a typical first and second name of a typical WWE superstar, I do find him quite interesting. I mean, this segment itself, when he faced Angelo Dawkins, who kind of looked like a jobber to me, was all about getting him a win over a heavyweight, and I really like his Tornado DDT finisher. It's one of those high-impact moves that would get a 2 count in ROH, but in WWE, the land of storytelling, it actually goes and gets a 3 count, which is something I wished ROH would do so many times with El Generico, but they were too busy focusing on trying to make the matches as brutal as possible. I did like also they had a post-match interview from Sami Zayn, kind of continuing his feud with Antonio Cesaro, saying that what he did in the match was a message to Antonio Cesaro and pretty much teasing that further on down the line, there is going to be a third match between the two, which, especially after their match last week, should be one hell of a match. So I look forward to that one. For those of you that are first-time watchers of my review and indeed NXT right now have got a Women's Championship tournament, and right now we're in the first round and we got 4 matches. This is the third of those 4 matches. In the first round we had Paige going through, my favourite diva of course. In the second match we had Alicia Fox, the former Divas champion, going through, and this time we had Sasha Banks versus Summer Rae. I gotta love her, even though Brad Maddox is one of the most annoying characters on TV right now. I love how he keeps changing his favourites like Lawler used to do. Do you remember when Lawler used to always say, oh, I picked him for the Royal Rumble, now I pick him for the Royal Rumble? Well, Brad Maddox started off picking Paige, picking Tamina actually, and now he's on to picking Summer Rae. I just find that quite funny. I must admit, I expected this one to go on a little bit longer as Sasha Banks is a diva that they're trying to focus on right now. But Summer Rae comes out with the victory. For all of you guys that have seen Summer Rae, you'd have seen her being Fandango's dancer. And right now, I do expect Summer Rae to go on to the final, especially after that great feud she had with Paige. She is one of the top divas in NXT right now. I really also like Summer Rae's finisher. I think that is a great finisher using her height and her long Stacy Keibler-style legs. In some NXT side news, we have independent stars Mike Bennett and Sami Callihan nearing signing for WWE. I must admit, after seeing Mike Bennett in ROH, he just seemed to suit WWE. He didn't really seem to suit ROH at all. So the fact that he could be in WWE and might possibly be on NXT and down the future, I'm happy about that because I love myself a bit of Mike Bennett. He was awesome in ROH. As for Sami Callihan, I saw him once in PWG. I'll have to reserve judgment on him for when he actually, debuts on NXT. But give me your thoughts, if you will, on WWE potentially signing Mike Bennett and Sami Callihan and then being featured on NXT at some point down the line. WWE have been signing a lot of independent talent lately. You gotta love Xavier Woods. It's time! It's morphin' time! Xavier Woods versus Jake Carter. I must admit, I have missed Xavier Woods. He's one of them characters that always gets you smiling. It's one of those, fun, dancey characters that gets the crowd going. Right now, he's at university right now. I wish you luck on that dissertation you're going to be handing in a couple of weeks, brother. I'd love to see you back on NXT. Xavier Woods gets the victory here. This is your typical NXT squash match. I do like Xavier Woods, so seeing him on my TV is a damn good thing in my opinion, and it should be for you too. So we had a backstage segment where Dusty Rhodes, Bebe, the NXT Commissioner, Bebe, announced that there was going to be a #1 contendership match to the NXT Tag Team Championships, Bebe, between Corey Graves and Cassius Ohno, and the tag team that I've just chose to give the name the Barbecue Boys, because they always seem to be hyping JR's Barbecue, and Sylvester Lafleur. Dusty Rhodes, baby, is going to be handing you some Dusty Rhodes magic, baby, sooner or later down the line. As I said earlier on in this review, last week Bo Dallas won the NXT Championship, and instead of choosing to highlight this through maybe an in-ring segment or maybe hyping up to him being in the main event of a wrestling match, WWE decided to give him a phone message segment, which was so damn goofy, I actually thought he was in Disneyland and was actually playing Goofy the character. You had Bo Dallas saying, I'm in Disneyland, baby, and I won't be here next week because I've been doing my live events and I've been doing my shows, etc. I'm like, man, this is one of the reasons why people boo Bo Dallas, because I know he's the NXT Championship, but he's so damn goofy. And Big E Langston is going to be next week there, and I hope he has a couple of words for Bo Dallas, like, wipe that smile off your freaking face, boy. Or more preferably, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Now it's time for the main event of the evening. The Wyatt family versus Corey Graves, Cassius Ohno, and Adrian Neville in 6-man tag action. This was your typical solid NXT main event match that went 10 minutes. Don't really have too much to say about the match itself. Bray Wyatt gets the victory after Luke Harper pulls Bray Wyatt from getting hit by Adrian Neville's awesome Somerset, whatever it's called, finisher, and Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family get the victory. And just like the Shield are on NXT, I think the Wyatt family are being booked impeccably on NXT right now. They're being booked very strongly. They seem to win the majority of their matches. They always seem to end the show on top, and the last thing you see on NXT when the Wyatt family are involved is generally Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. So they're being booked like they are a big deal in NXT. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing them on the WWE roster and see what WWE have actually got planned for the Wyatt family going forward. Are they going to feud with The Shield? Probably not. I'm just interested to see where they're going to go with these characters, because I do think WWE have something special with Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family in general. Now it's time for me to go on to my overall thoughts on this NXT show. The best way I can describe this show, really, it wasn't really a bad show, it wasn't really a great show. It was kind of like a sort of middle-of-the-road show where it was all about enhancement and moving things forward rather than things actually happening, so to speak. That's how this show kind of felt to me. It kind of felt like a sort of a second or third week SmackDown going into the pay-per-view sort of thing. But I'd say overall this was still a solid show. 1 hour long is definitely a lot better to get through than the 3 hours you have to get through for fucking Raw, I will say that. So leave me your thoughts in the comment section below on this NXT review, or any thoughts you have in general on NXT. And if you're a first-time watcher, please give me your feedback. Thank you very much for watching this first NXT review on the British Fist channel with me, the V-neck wearing, AJ Lee lusting, Cody Rhodes revering, Mr. Parkin. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.